It's been a difficult and painful week in the United States, bookended by tragedy from Monterey Park to Memphis. The familiar sense of nationwide anger and mourning can be tough to process, even if we're far removed from the event itself. And I want to bring in Dr. Deepak Chopra to help us find ways of navigating these mounting tragedies. He's a clinical professor of family medicine and public health at the University of California, San Diego. He's also an author and the founder of the Chopra Foundation. Dr. Chopra, it's always lovely and wonderful to talk to you and so insightful. On an individual level, I wonder where we begin to kind of hold the heaviness of what's happening in our country, because I think there is this collective grief that we've been going through for years now, and it continues. It's this incident after incident after incident. How do we hold that?
So, Jessica, what we are looking at is the pathology of both personal trauma and collective trauma. So, what we call anger is the memory of trauma. Hostility is the desire to get even. And then that leads to fear, anxiety, which is the anticipation of trauma again. Some people blame themselves, they blame others. This leads to guilt, shame, and ultimately the loss of energy. Of all of what I've said is depression. Right now, what we're seeing is collective trauma, persistent recycling of this trauma and news cycles, social media, distractions. And again, we're also, have the collective fear right now of an impending recession, inflation, loss of jobs, and then what's happening in Ukraine. We see this all the time, and we get traumatized. And so one of our basic needs as humans in the hierarchy of needs, the base of the pyramid is safety, security. When a society loses that, that's when actually we have a crisis, and we have a crisis right now. And so I can only suggest that we first grieve collectively. This is a moment of grief for all of us. To be in denial is actually going to increase the anger and so on. We need to grieve. We need to create safety networks with families, friends. I use the 4 A's: attention, deep listening; affection, deep caring; appreciation, deep gratitude; and acceptance of what is. We have no choice. And what I found in my personal life is that no matter what the crisis is, if you ask yourself, close your eyes, and in your stillness, you ask yourself, what am I grateful for? Notwithstanding what happens, notwithstanding what is happening, that feeling of gratitude removes all hostility, allows you to get in touch with your deeper self, and opens the door to healing.
It's a grounding in that way. And for Black and Asian communities, there is this collective grief around these hateful attacks like what we've seen this week. And they're being attacked. They feel in danger, not safe, as you're saying, that core need that we all have, not safe for simply who they are. And they're trying to heal from that type of trauma. How specifically, what do you want to say to those specific communities?
Even to those specific communities, please take care of yourself. Please take time to breathe deeply, to feel your body, to embrace your grief, to find your peace, and help each other, create safety networks. Hostility will only lead to further recycling of trauma. Anger is natural. So, there's a difference. Anger is the inflammatory response we're getting right now as a result of trauma. It will express itself. And then, we have to then embrace the grief and support each other. There are ways to activate the autonomic nervous system. Right now, we are on sympathetic overdrive, collective burnout. But, if you take time to breathe, to do some exercise, yoga, sleep properly, take care of your nutrition, activate the vagus nerve through even smiling and chanting. There are many ways you can find right now to activate the part of our autonomic nervous system that is called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is now referred to as the reset, renew, and repair and healing system. And we need to activate that collectively as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's so interesting in these situations. Of course, millions of Americans never met Tyree Nichols, for example. But millions of Americans have now witnessed how he was brutally killed in those horrific last moments of his life. And it's a dehumanizing trend, I guess, when victims are kind of put into this narrative that they can't really write, they can't control it, that's maybe the only way some people will ever know him or see him, even though we've heard that he loved photography, he loved skateboarding, he was a human, a whole person. Can you speak to the importance of keeping his humanity alive and others who become victims in things like this, how we can keep their humanity alive?
Our collective humanity right now is at risk. When you see these inhumane attacks, you ask yourself, what happened to our humanity as a collective species? And so, to keep that humanity alive, his humanity alive, we need to actually start treating each other with good manners, respect, deference, politeness, and most importantly, respect. When you lose respect in a society, trauma starts. So, lack of respect is the number one cause of humiliation, which is the number one cause of trauma as well, and the recycling of trauma. Respect yourself, respect everybody, and start with that. Start with respect and gratitude collectively. Respect each other.
Yeah, respect each other. Find a moment for yourself to center yourself and find, those nuggets of gratitude. It's so wise. Deepak Chopra, thank you so much. It's great to see you.
Thank